up there, and they have about 6 classes come in, 150 kids. And the gal says, I want you to do the same way you did last year. And what I do is I just really take control. I tell them all to sit down, and if anybody doesn't want to watch the movie, and everybody says, yeah, everybody wants to watch the movie, I said, then be quiet so everybody can hear the movie. If you start mouthing off, we'll shut the projector off, turn on the lights, and we'll take you out and set you outside, and you can sit in the sun out there. So then, one kid will be talking, and I'll just grab him out of the group and take him back and make him sit on the table and back with me. And they're a real good group. And then I give them all the ecology sticker, and I tell them about I don't want any of them things thrown on the ground, They cost 25 cents. You can put them on your books, your bikes, your cars, or anything, but don't throw the papers on the ground. And I give them another talk on cigarette smoking, where, if you think cigarette smoking is harmful for your health to breathe, what do you think the fish? How do you think the fish like it? Because my boat is parked right next to the drain there. And when it rains, it hadn't rained for 2 or 3 months, there's 10,000, I'll bet you catch a bushel basket of cigarette butts coming out of that drain. Because when a guy throws one out here, it's swept down into the curb, it goes down into the drain, and the drain is completely plugged with those things.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Drop a cigarette into an aquarium sometimes, see how the fish like it.
That's good. Well, do you do that more out of a humanitarian thing?
Well, I give a little commercial, I tell them this, and I take some equipment and show them. And what we really try to do, we try to sell some equipment, but it's not a hard sell thing, We just go in and say, we want you, summer's coming on, and we want you, if you plan on taking skin diving, we want you to get the right equipment and do it properly, and show them how to fit a mask on and not to let the littler kids in the family use them, and how to use the snorkel and things like that. I give a talk, and it's about a 1-hour deal, and show a movie and give a talk. It turns out to be a good deal.
Outside of the word of mouth thing, the reputation you build up, is this the best kind of promotion, do you think? Is this going out and giving a talk and showing a film? Are you showing what film are you showing?
I got a whole library. I got the silent. You
don't have one about yourself.
I don't have one about myself. That's what I want to do. I want to make a short movie that we can put ahead of our movie when we show it. This film is being presented through the courtesy of Dive and Surf. And then,
when I'll show you guys down on these anchors or something like that.
Yeah,
that's really
and then
exciting.
show a nice little movie and all the different things that we can do for people. We not only have a dive shop, but we have a surfing shop. We make snow skiing clothes now. And there's only one thing better than diving, and that's diving from a boat. And so we have the boats, too.
What are you, on the anchors, the fellow that you're working with on the anchors, have you anything been written up on it, or
no?
At all?
We took one of them down there, and he was so sick with the flu, he couldn't. The doctor said he can't get out of bed to do anything, so he's staying in bed.
Would it be possible to talk to him? Could I talk to him?
Yeah, Dr. Moriarty. Let me get a hold of it.
I'll tell you why. I'm going to the SADAM meeting June 21st and so forth down at Aquamal.
Yeah.
And they all make reports there and so forth. And they'd be really interested in this thing.
Okay, his name is Dr. Moriarty, and he's at the San Diego Museum. And I just give him a call.
San Diego Museum,
yeah.
Okay.
And I got some more odd rocks out there. He used to be a diver, but his ears are bad, and he can't dive.
Have you taken any pictures of the site? And you got pictures?
Yeah, we've taken movies and stuff. They're not real good, but they're not real bad.
Do you have black and white or slides or anything?
I'm going to go out with my 15mm lens and take some black and white pictures. Even if we have to drop one of them back down and fake it,
I was wondering if I'll call him and talk with him, and I'm going to be talking to Pablo about the meeting down there and so forth. But if it's possible, I would like very much to just make a presentation down there, 5 or 10 minutes, and just tell him about this fact. Because this is what it's all about. That's why. Well,
it's kind of exciting.
It is.
If it really turns out to be one of those anchors, he says, there's a great possibility of it being a Chinese stone anchor. Now, the one that Wayne Baldwin found, it looks like a definite anchor too. But the last one I found, it's kind of debatable. But it's been there for thousands.
Is this the best material you found on it?
That's the only thing I found. Well, there's a complete booklet on stone anchors. If you like, take it home and read it.
I think I kind of like to think about doing the story eventually.
Moriarty wrote this book here.
Oh, did he? Oh, great. I'm going to be going down to San Diego, so maybe I'll
if you'd like to take that, just get it back to him. Sure. He's got some of the stone anchors in there.
Okay.
I guess for years that they've known that the Chinese were here, but they never. None of the guys would ever say it.
That's
In
fabulous.
fact, I understand that they'd be digging through Indian rooms and find a Chinese artifact, and
Yeah.
just throw it away. That's not real. It doesn't happen. It just destroys their whole thing.
Yeah.
Something else.
Well, they think, they how the Chinese brought the jade into Mexico,
Yeah.
too. That's one of the big theories that we had to face. Okay, now, let me check. Let me just a couple of quickie things on the economy. Do you watch this very carefully
Oh, yeah.
in terms of business and how far to go in inventory? And
Yeah, I get a monthly financial statement. I taught two kids years ago to dive, and their names are Russell and Richard Lesser. One of them became an accountant. I told him when he got to be an accountant, I'd hire him. And he went with a large firm in Long Beach, and I've been with him ever since. He handles Bill Hardy's account, San Diego Divers.
oh, really?
He handled Sam McCoke's also. But he didn't get along very well with Sam because different problems. But ever since I've had him, I've did pretty good. And then Richard Lesser just got his license to practice law, so we got him.
Trained people.
Yeah, and both of them own a part of Civil Aquatic Systems,
I see. That's very
so
good.
they make it go.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more that, do you personally read Wall Street Journal and
I don't read
Barron's
Wall Street
try
Journal.
to-
Richard Hernandez does. I take the National Business magazine, and I read that pretty thoroughly. And I watch I try to see what's happening, what the prime rate of interest is and everything, because we're always borrowing and getting more money.
Well, how was your feelings in terms of expanding business and?
Well, right now, we just rented that building up to 38,000 square feet, so I think it's going to be pretty good. I saw last night where a guy said 76 is going to be the biggest year that anybody's ever had, and I certainly hope that. I just think if they quit talking about the bad economy, we won't have it. I really do. I was at Houston. Billy and I went to a high yield management deal there. I've been the last 3 years. I've been to that. And the guys from Colorado, University of Colorado, give that.
All right.
Steinmetz and Bonin, and they really do a fantastic job. And he said he got on an airplane in Tucson and flew to Denver, Colorado. And he says he happened to pick up Time magazine, and he says before he got to Denver, he's hoping the plane would crash because the economy looked so bad. He says the whole thing was just bad economy, bad economy, bad economy.
Yeah.
And
So tragedy, and that's really.
if we keep talking about it, it's going to be bad.
Everybody's scared, and
But like Janeway come out and said, don't spend your money, put it in the bank.
Yeah.
6 months. You know why they love that? If they put $5,000 in that savings bank, they can borrow. They can loan 5 times that on that. They loan $25,000. Try taking your profit sharing money out of a bank sometime. They'll do everything. They'll slit their throat to keep you taking it out.
God, they make it.
So I think the economy has really been bad, and we've been hit hard. The thing that really hurt us, I think, even more than the economy, because I've never been affected by the drop off or anything. Our business has just been good. If the diving dropped off, the boating picked up. If the boating dropped off, the skiing was good. If the surf suits are always good and stuff like that. So we've always had things that kept us on pretty even. But the Los Angeles County ordinance really, really did hurt us, because there is a total of 4 boats that directly went out of business on account of the ordinance. No longer chartered for diving because on account of it. So that puts 600 people a weekend on our extra boats. We can't fill our extra boats. The Truth went to Cortez Bank, 2-day trip with 17 people on board. He lost $1,000 a day on that trip with that few people. He's got to carry 30, or he's not even, his break even probably at 20, 25. So it has really hurt us. The ordinance has really hurt us. They turned around and they kept the safest diver out of the water, the guy that's not certified. There's never been an uncertified diver drown up on a charter boat. Well, they made it against the law. He can't go on anymore. Jacques Cousteau can't dive at Catalina Island right now. I was on a charter boat out the other day. There were 14 of us on board, and there's 2 guys on the trip that had a bona fide diving card. My brother and I, neither one have ever had a diving card. I've had an instructor's card, but never a diving card. And I really believe, I would like to see everybody have a diving card, but you ain't going to get me to go through a full-blown class, and you're not going to get you either. I don't think your card's any good now, because it doesn't come under the required hours. And they don't have any plan to recertify anybody. They can't tell you how it's going to take place in July or June or April or whatever. And so it's just, I think the law will be repealed. I hope like hell it will be.
Yeah, I hear that.
But it's cost everybody a lot of money. We never have pumped a bad tank of air. that I know of that's been associated with a diving death. Sure, you have smell, but like the aluminum tanks, all of them smell now damn near.
Is that something they can't get out of it?
Well, they say the silicone on the O-ring absorbs the hydrocarbons out of the air, and you pump a lot of hydrocarbons, and you're going to have a smelly air. And they said I had a lot of hydrocarbons. I don't. I said my air and had it tested. I defy anybody to have better air than I do, because I got the biggest rig there is. But that thing, we had put a lot of equipment on our compressor, and I'm not even in L.A. County, and I did it. And we've had to put a resuscitator on the boat, which absolutely is ridiculous. Any lifeguard that has worked on drowning cases tell you that resuscitator is ridiculous to work on a drowning victim. Because the minute the guy gets any froth or anything, it'll trip and go back. The best method is mouth to mouth, if a guy will get down and use it. And it's the fastest. By the time you get the resuscitator unloaded and transferred to another boat, hell, you could have a lifeguard over there and have the guy saved, And then it was 18 minutes. I wish I had that blue book. I gave it to Judge Choate to study. I'm going to give him a test on it. Han's going to be up at his house in about a week, and I want him to really be briefed well on it. But they put together some statistics. 300 people drowned in their automobiles last year, in 1973.
Drowned in their automobiles?
Drowned in their automobiles. 220 drowned in the bathtubs.
That's great. So you're going to outlaw bathtubs.
Yeah. But, and I really believe that diving's got safer and safer and safer. I don't really believe, and you'll probably agree with me, I don't believe that we're teaching that much, we're turning out that much better diver. We're turning out a more technical diver,
Yeah.
Well, we just teach people complete diving course in 12 hours. But we didn't have a whole lot of decompression to teach, and they didn't forget it a month after they got out of the course. We didn't have all the different diving injuries you have now, I can't even name them. That's probably why I haven't given up instruction.
Well, do you think somebody I've just interviewed just said that one of the things seems to be that we're dealing with an entirely different kind of a person taking diving now. It's more the common man has come into it. Before it was a tougher breed of cat.
Well, I can't say that. I can remember when Roger would come up to me and say, hey, I had a fantastic class. Everybody could swim the length of the pool. So we had the bad swimmers in those days too, but we taught limitations. And I think they're going more to my way of instruction now. I think they're teaching, everybody's going to, teach the guys limitations, no matter how far he can swim. Well, show you what it is. 200 yards is the criteria for being able to be a certified diver. 300 yards, you can be an instructor. That's how stupid it is, Al. And a gal got up there at the Board of Supervisors Hall the other night at the State Legislation Committee and said that she has a pamphlet where the Navy did an experiment, and they took non-swimmers and swimmers and taught them both how to dive, and the non-swimmers were the best divers. The lifeguards are much poorer divers. A lifeguard goes through my class is a poorer diver than a guy that can't swim very well.
I found this with competitive swim teams in the colleges too, I think.
Because that guy will dive beyond his limitations, and he'll dive beyond his buddy's limitations. Whereas the guy that's and the guy goes with him because he's a lifeguard. He'll save me.
Yeah.
So the non-swimmer is more careful, got a better head on his shoulder, learns more in the class, really gets a better grade and everything, Lifeguards, really, they didn't do well in the class. I had more trouble with school teachers, lifeguards, doctors, and lawyers, and policemen and firemen in those classes than the common layman, It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
That guy, he made a big thing out of getting 90 on his test. And most doctors that go through that class back there, you just have to mark a little incomplete up in the corner because they didn't read the book. And they're daydreaming in the class. And they put down such technical words that I won't even look them up. And I just tell him after the class, you didn't read the book. He says, I'm going to read it. That's all I ask. I never even give him another test. I never have. He started telling the doctor, he got 55 on the test, when some dumb got 90. Embarrassing. That's the difference between teaching and the outside. Like when Morrison and Grushenko came out of the schools and started, we had to teach them a whole new way of teaching. You can jump on kids, you can hammer on them, you can be cruel, you can ridicule them, you can embarrass them, you can reprimand them and everything, but don't do it to me as an adult in that class, or I'm going to get mad and leave, and I'll go diving whether it kills me or not, and I'll prove that I can dive. Yeah. A professor from UCLA came down, she took Glenn's class, she couldn't pass swim test, he says, forget it, you'll never be a diver. She came down, she says, I understand you teach people to know how to swim. And I said, no, I don't. I says, I'll try to teach you to dive. I want you to bring your swimming up as much as possible, but I want you to learn your limitations. She says, I want to study kelp, I want to jump off my sailboat, go down 15 feet of water and study